People might hear the word Quaker and associate it with Pennsylvania or the Quaker oatmeal, or at least I do, but there is so much more to this religion called Society of Friends. Most of the times when people hear of society like this one, they think of it as a secret cult with its own crazy ideas and upside down practices. But as I discovered, Society of Friends is more than what meets the eye, and today I will inform you all about it. The Religious Society of Friends was founded in the mid-1600s in Europe, thanks to the religious awakening that was going on in the old continent. George Fox, the main founder, believed that God was present in every human being. Therefore, there was no need of ministers telling people what to do in order to get closer to God. Quakers, as members of the society are called, were persecuted, tortured, and executed for their beliefs. They also found little sympathy among other Christian denominations because they differ from them in many aspects. The Religious Society of Friends is based in the concept of the inner light, which states that every person possesses the ability to talk to God individually, and it's everyone's duty to listen to God's call. As part of the Christian religions, Quakers believe Jesus is the light. They believe God is always accessible to everyone, and that it's why personal experience with God is more important than the Bible, because they can receive direct and personal guidance through the inner light. Members of the Society of Friends didn't believe in distinctions among people because of their race, sex, or class. They accepted everyone in their religion, didn't support slavery, and didn't believe there should be paid ministers telling people what God wanted from them. For Quakers believed that God lives in everyone and that they could preach just as the apostles had. Because of their belief that God speaks himself to every person, Quakers don't think of the Bible as a sacred book as other religions do. They instead believe that God can manifest to them in the form of the Spirit and speaks to them, telling his purposes. Friends, as they are also called, don't believe in creeds, ceremonies, sacraments, sacred books, clergy, and holidays. As I mentioned before, they believe in personal encounters with God, and they think of the Bible as human interpretation of God's will. Therefore, it is not a strict book of rules that they must abide by. According to the Quaker Information Center, members of this Christian denomination believe and practice pacifism, social equality, integrity, and simplicity. Based on this belief, they have participated in events such as the Underground Railroad, women's suffrage, prohibition, and the United Nations. Friends have practiced peaceful ideas since the beginning of the society. According to the Religious Tolerance website, Quakers have promoted world peace, abolition of slavery, fair treatment of the Native Americans, prison reform, improvement in mental hospitals, and refuse to engage in wars. Quakers develop an intense concept of the disadvantaged, including slaves. As a matter of fact, the Religious Tolerance website states that some Quakers in Germantown, Pennsylvania in 1688 took a public stand against slavery, which is believed to be first stirrings within a religious organization of the abolitionist movement in America. Therefore, there have been many Quakers that have worked pages of history because of their contributions to society. The first famous Quaker that comes to my mind is William Penn, founder of Pennsylvania. But there are also many notorious members such as former President of the United States Herbert Hoover and Richard Nixon, activists Susan B. Anthony and Lucretia Mott, writer James Fenimore Cooper, and poet Walt Whitman. Now let's talk about the three branches in which the society is divided. The first one is Conservative Friends. They remain true to their original religion. They refuse to accept liberal and pastoral friends because they departed from the original version. The second one is Liberal Friends. They still get together in their traditional meetings, but the majority of liberal Quakers have pursued universal philosophies. Pastoral Friends are also very similar to the most Protestant churches in their look, practice, and belief. They have distanced themselves from the original Quaker thinking. They hire ministers to conduct the meetings and plan the worship services. According to the Conservative Quakers of America website, there are about 90,000 liberal and pastoral Quakers in North America. And although the first Quakers that came to the United States established Quaker colonies in New Jersey, Rhode Island, Delaware, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, today only about 400 conservative Friends can be found in Ohio, Iowa, and North Carolina. Today there are about 300,000 Quakers around the world, most of them being pastoral Friends. The countries with a significant concentration of Quakers in the world are Australia, Bolivia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Ireland, Kenya, Scotland, and the United States and Wales. As we could learn today, Society of Friends is a peaceful religion since its beginning. In the mid-17th century, they are not worried about secular aspects of their faith. They, however, believe God has a message for every person, and that it's our job to listen carefully to God's voice in order to fulfill this will.